That's what I'm obsessed with. Like, I'm obsessed with like building stuff that outlasts me and that provides a living for other people. Hi, I'm Steve Larosiliere, and I'm the president of Acres of Timber. When I was a kid, truthfully, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Yeah, ever since I was little, I was always starting businesses. I had, lemonade stand. I had a bike shop. Yeah, I mean, I was always had some sort of business going on. I remember being, as a young person in New York, like I kind of always envisioned myself like having a business in New York and like, having an office in Manhattan and office in New York City. And yeah, I was able to do all of it. So, but yeah, no, I've always envisioned myself being an entrepreneur. So today I have an agency and that works with the lumber marketing and sawmill industry. And I fell into that. So my background is in marketing, and I found that, I was always creative. I was always problem solving for people earlier on in my career. So this is like my second agency. I did music marketing at first. So I got very attuned to like people and communities and culture, and I understood people. So it was, I'm a, creative person who likes being around people and likes figuring out how to solve problems for people. And so when I did my marketing agency for Acres of Timber, I decided at that point that I didn't want to come up with an idea myself. I wanted to come up with an idea based off of the passions of other people. It sounds odd or different, but like when you don't think about yourself, you kind of take the ego out. And so like you can be open to anything. And so my father-in-law owns a sawmill and a wood shop, and I saw that he was very passionate, obsessively passionate about creating wood products. And so my kids sleep on a bed made from wood that was planted by their great-grandfather 40 years ago. And so talk about like the history and the legacy, and like my kids, and then even in my own house right now, the 2 floors of my house are made from oak trees that me, my wife, and my father-in-law, we cut the trees, we milled them, we dried them, we planed them. We touched every single board in our house, right? And so you realize that like, that's a beautiful story, right? It's like, there are a lot of people that can create that story, and it's a very small amount of people that can actually do it. And so those are the people that I work with. I'm very passionate about people that make stuff. I like people that make stuff with their hands. I like people that care about preserving legacy, telling a story through their product. And the gap that I saw when I first started was that these people didn't have the necessary skills. Like nobody knew that that existed. Like if you knew that you can get something so custom that had a story behind it, you would buy it instead of going to IKEA or West Elm or whatever. And so those are the people that I work with. My agency, we do, lead gen, we do websites, we do marketing strategy, we do social media. And like, that's what I do. I connect them to their audience. I empower them. I have my own mastermind. I coach them as well. So that's what Acres of Timber does. I am proud of the idea that I can provide a living for people through my talent, right? Through my skills, and like other things, like we bought our dream house, we bought our casita, right? Like based off of this thing that I did. It feels good to be able to do what I love, and it doesn't even matter what area that I do it. I'll do it with love, and I do it all the time. And my kids see it all the time too. Now my kids have business. My kids have businesses. My 3 kids, they have businesses because they see daddy has a business, and so that makes me really happy. And I kept thinking about like this crazy thing. And when my dad died, the money that we used to pay for his funeral was money that he had in a bank account that he sold his land. He had land in Haiti. That land has been in my family for 200 years. Can you imagine, like, we're spending money from 200 years ago. Like, it was in my family. And I was like, that's legacy. You know what I mean? Like, my great grandfather had land that he passed on to his son and then to his son. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God. And then, even with me leaving my nonprofit, I was like, oh, I hired somebody and like I exited my business and it's outlasting me. I was like, that's what I'm obsessed with. Like, I'm obsessed with like building stuff that outlasts me and that provides a living for other people. Like, we're so blessed. Yeah, I think there's definitely fear, there's uncertainty, uncertainty of whether a client's gonna leave or what have you. There's fear of, like, there's doubt in yourself sometimes. There's like the feeling of, especially if you're like on a bunch of pitches and nobody's buying or like nobody's taking you up on your offer. There's like, oh, should I be doing this? Oh, what's wrong? But then at the same time, there's like, you send an invoice and it's a really large invoice and then you check your bank account and there's the money in the bank account. That's a great feeling. And, there's pride in being able to know that, like, when you go over like your monthly reports, like, oh, clients are doing well, right? Or, like I have a client, I have an employee and she's so good. And like, I've given her like 4 raises already and she's like, oh my God. And like, just to know that you can help people out, I really love that feeling. I just feel like there's so many feelings, but it's very much, the highs and lows, and I kind of take them all. And also realizing too, there's way too much opportunities out there, and you kind of have to know what direction you're gonna go. And once you know where you're gonna go, then you can make it. But there's enough businesses out there that need help. A lot of people need help, and agencies can help, The other thing that I would say is build a community. Probably the biggest thing is like build a community around your niche and own all of the media behind it. But get help. You can't do things alone. Take whatever profit you have, invest it in a community, invest it in a coach, invest it in whatever, because that greatly helps me. Every time that I've invested in myself, I've always made 5-10x, always. You have to be open enough to know and drop any preconceived notions that just because somebody looks different than you, that like we're all the same. And if you're spending money to come to an event like this, you're completely like investing in yourself, and that's a good quality. The next thing is to like be open to new ideas and people. And then the third thing is just be vulnerable, like share. I was giving advice to people that works for me, and if they take it, they take it. But like you just be open and share. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Thank you for watching this video, and thank you to our amazing members that are coming and sharing their journey about digital marketing agency and also life in general. If you want to learn more about these inspiring stories, make sure to click over here or learn about the speakers that are coming and sharing their knowledge with us over here. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe somewhere over here. We'll share also any links about our inner circle, mastermind events, and our big event of the year down below.